Rosenberg. I am honored and blessed to be sitting across from the one and only Veronica Jorge. And what's so funny is Veronica, a lot of people are like, oh, what's the big deal with Veronica? Who's Veronica? Let me tell you, everybody, if you ever take a time out and check out her Instagram, I want to say in the sphere of people that I know, you're probably one of the most traveled persons I've ever interacted with. So I want to salute you for that. Thank you so much for being here, Mama. Appreciate you. Before we crack in, I want you to tell people who you are, your Instagram, and where they can see some of the fascinating things that you've experienced, please.
Well, my name is Veronica Jorge. My Instagram is Aria G. Really complicated 24.
No, okay, we're gonna throw it in the lower third. Okay. So it's say it again. The Instagram is
Aria VJ 24.
Bomb. So check her out because the Instagram tells a fascinating story. So as I said before, it's an honor to sit across from you. Thank you so much for being here. SQR podcast, we're designed to educate, entertain, and encourage, and we do that through real stories from real people. And you're so real. I want to take a moment right now to be our sponsor or anything. Here at SQR, we talk responsibly and we drink responsibly. So thank you so much, Veronica, for being here. Bomb. Veronica Jorge. And once I started following you, I coined you as the world traveler. Was that the first person to give you that name, or you?
Yeah, you're the first. Well, my friends call me traveler and hermit and also nomad and all those variants.
Oh, nice. What's so funny is I was reading this article the other day, and it said the definition of a nomad is somebody who's never mad.
Yeah.
Because they're never attached to anything and they're always moving.
Yeah.
So we want to dabble a little bit into that, but let me crack into your story, Veronica, because here's what's fascinating. We connected through a similar passion, which was kickboxing. And I was always fascinated by how you maneuver, especially as a woman in this world, traveling on your own and experiencing these fascinating journeys. I said to myself, there's a little girl out there who's going to hear your story and be motivated to do the same. So that's why I wanted to have you here. So please, honor me by that, all right? So let's begin. I want to go back to the beginning and find out where the confidence and the chutzpah, they would say the Jewish term, for you to become so bold with this travel. Let's go back to the beginning. Where are you originally from?
Well, I'm from the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
I am from the capital, Santo Domingo.
Okay.
I am from Santiago, which is like the second biggest city from Dominican Republic.
What was the family makeup like? How many brothers and sisters?
Oof. Well, we are 9 of us, and yes, and then the second half of my life I was with my aunt, and we were 7 of us there.
Wow.
Yes, big family.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
In the family lineup, are you 1, 2, 3? What number are you?
I'm the youngest.
Oh, nice. So the baby of the group.
Yeah.
Did you get baby?
I got a baby from my sister, and yeah.
Yeah, really good. All right, cool. So growing in such a large family, you baby, you're protected. Everybody's already taking the bumps and bruises. What was that dynamic like? Were you?
Well, I wouldn't say it was not as happy as you might want to. It was a big family. We are have to fend for ourselves a little bit. So it was like I was raised more by my siblings, and that's why after I have to move with my aunt. It's like a little. That's where I am so strong because I have to fend for myself since I'm very young.
Okay, got you. All right, let me ask you this. If you can look back from where you are now and you go, that strength to be so strong, where do you think you got that from? Like, was mom a strong person? Was dad a strong person? Was grandma, abuela? That's what you say, right? You're not
It was my aunt. It was that she raised me the second half of my life, a little bit when I was young. And she was my role model. She was a doctor, she was a philanthropist, she worked for two clinics, one for like a private one, and then she also worked one in the public sector, helping like for the Red Cross.
Oh, wow.
She also did volunteer. She helped raise a lot of like people.
What's
and
her name?
help. Her name was Milagros. Actually, this tattoo I got is for her to honor her. She was my role model. She was like
Milagros.
Milagros, yes.
Let's
It
go
means
to Milagros.
miracles.
Let's go to Milagros. I wonder, did Milagros know the impact she was having on you? Or were you, how did you connect with her? Did she not have to take care of all the siblings?
She took care of me and my sister. We like got paired. Everywhere there. That's why my sister spoils me.
Oh.
Everywhere I go, she's my oldest. So it was me and she raised her kids in the house. She was very strict, but she was always an example. She always like helped like teach us how to take care of ourselves, how to if we are in a situation, how to handle it. She was also like you need to work, make your own money.
Wow.
If you have goals, you have to go. Like she's a female, but she was a doctor since she was young, and she did all that by herself. And she was an example. So for me, it was like seeing that I couldn't do less than.
Understood. No, thank you so much for being so vulnerable on that, because that's what I realized as I've done this podcast so many times. There's different people, and it doesn't have to be mom or dad. It could be a mom, it could be an uncle, it could be a friend, a friend's parent who said something that really, or did something that made you go, I want to emulate that. So let's make that up. So let's move a little bit. Where did elementary school, high school, where did that happen? In the Dominican Republic or here?
In the Dominican Republic. I actually came to the United States when I was 18.
Okay, so we know we
I'm
have
sorry,
yeah,
I was still
yeah,
like,
we're not
still like
touching
in
that
the
yet.
future. Like,
We're gonna go back to going back to school. So what was that dynamic like? What was your personality like in middle school, pre-high school?
I
Were
was
you
a
quiet?
vandal.
You were a vandal?
Yes.
Like to be like an arsonist? Like what do you mean?
No, I was like a little tomboy. I used to get in fight with little boys. But I was very smart, so that would build me up. It was like, she fights, but at least she's smart.
But then the fight was with the boys, did you pull your own?
Yes, I did. That's why I was so good with the bags.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
So a little bit of background, you know, from my CKO background, and I gotta admit, when I saw you walk into the gym, you know, there are people who walk in and they hit the bag like this is the first time they're getting something, and you were pretty proficient, so I understand that. All right, cool. So you held your own in that, and you said you were smart.
Yes, I was honor student. I actually graduated from college summa cum laude.
Salute. Why be so coy with that? Why be so? I mean, I know modesty is important, but pick up yourself.
Thank you.
We're gonna get to the rest of the college and all that cum laude stuff in a few.
Yeah.
But I'm building the house
Yeah.
to right now, you know, and that's why the beginning is so important on the foundation.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing that you had this, well, you were a tomboy.
Yeah.
You was as early in the game.
I was a little hustler too. I used to be like having little businesses.
Like what?
Well, I used to get my stepmom's cards, like playing cards, and take them to school. Like, I'm going to read you your fortune for 5 pesos. I used to get a bandana on my face and be like, come on. And because
How old are you? How old are you at this time?
on that age, I was like on 5th, 6th grade. So I was like 11, 10.
Right, okay.
So
Do you remember your first customer?
Oh,
Or your most memorable customer at that age?
well, it was because they give stars
Okay.
when you're a kid. My parents didn't care about the stars, but I earned them all the time. So I used to sell them to my other kids. Like, if you want, 75 pesos. So I had this friend that was terrible at school, super bad. So, and but his grandma was super strict, so I would give it to him, and he would be like, "Here, it's my lunch." And I'm like, "Yes."
Yo, those are that entrepreneurial, that's big, yo. What's that? Would that be considered the college admission fraud before the college admission fraud?
Oh, don't tell me college. I don't have my stories from there.
So we're gonna get to that. Yo, Veronica, amazing. So let's play this game before we take this quick break. We're gonna go back retrospectively. So we know that your aunt instilled that work ethic and drive for you. The hustler. But let me tell you, those two little ventures that you just shared are unique. If you could look back, would you credit her for that also, or was there somebody else?
No, that was my grandma.
Talk about abuela. Talk about
Yeah.
that.
Well, my grandma was to like take care of us when we were kids, but she was very funny because she was very like money driven. She had her own business, even though she was like in Dominican Republic, she was like a housewife, but she opened her own health business. So I always saw her having her business, that she had like an employee, and also she would be very good at taking advantage of money. So my father would like give her money to like take us somewhere. She would go and like, "Oh no, I can give you the same experience cheaper if we go here, and I can keep the rest." So I always said that she was very money smart, so I learned from that.
Oh wow.
I was like, "Oh, so this is important."
So we have two significant women in your life that we can credit for those moves.
Very strong women.
What's abuela's name?
Her name was Anna.
Anna?
Josefa. Anna.
Anna what?
Josefa.
Anna Josefa.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna toast to Anna. Well, and I want to take a break and come back. Take up into high school and see if that creative entrepreneurial energy was still bubbling then. I know it goes through the college, but Veronica Jorge, thank you so much. SQR Podcast, Jorge Rosenberg. We'll take a quick break, come back, crack into the rest of those stories, guys. It's gonna be amazing. Check out our Instagram. One. SQR Podcast for Rosenberg. I'm cracking in with my guest, the world traveler, aka Veronica Jorge. And she, we're so real on the show, I want to keep it real. She fumbled her Instagram, but she's going to tell you right now where you can go check her out because her Instagram page is official. Veronica, what's her Instagram?
It's Aria VJ24.
Oh, gotta check her out. We left off where you cooked up this creative opportunity for people who weren't business opportunity to service others who weren't academically smart at such a young age. So my dude who was getting zeros is now getting stars.
Exactly.
I mean, right? Just keep it moving. How do you transition from there? By the way, if you could look back now that we're picking your brain, was there one significant memory or thing at that time that you go, that was interesting?
Like in which way?
In middle school, that whole
Like interesting how?
interesting, like where you think, now that you're looking back retrospectively, you're like, you know what? That was fun and that kind of propelled me this way. Or maybe it's after you got into high school and you got more seasoned as a hustler.
Well, I was the funniest and more ways that I showed that I was dreaming was a time in my school. It was a storm in Dominican Republic there are many of them.
Yeah, well, I'm Jamaican, so I know the Caribbean, it pops up and then disappears.
So sadly, there was a dead cat in one of the alleys, and nobody wanted it to touch. So the school director was like, "We need to take it out, but we don't want to put it outside." I was like, "I'll take it. Give me 100 pesos." And she put it in a bag, and I took my cat. And then we were on the car, and I was like miles away. I'm like, "Can you stop?" And I put there. I was like, "Oh, this is my easy money."
So she paid you 100 pesos to
Yeah.
take the dead cat.
And I'm like, "Oh, I can get even adults to join my business venture,
Yo.
not just kids."
Yo,
Yeah.
that is big.
Yeah.
That is creative. Yo, salute, salute, salute. SQR podcast for Rosenberg. I think that's a little bit of a jewel right there because if you think on your feet, you can always take advantage. You know what? I don't think I think you can always come up with something creative.
Exactly.
Well, I salute you. So you transitioned to high school. Tell me about that.
Well, when high
You're
school,
still in the Dominican Republic.
in Dominican Republic. In high school, that's when I moved with my aunt, like definitely, and started working. I was 15, started working in it's like a Staples, but like a mom and dad type of stuff.
Yeah.
And they sell art supplies, and they sell a lot of books, and that's when I started reading. And that's when I started reading about other countries, and that's when I started seeing places and imagining like, oh my gosh, I wish I was in that place. And it's actually when I started loving and having the idea of traveling when I was in that place. And also when I learned to love read and to paint. My first job, it was like my first love, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you painting prior to that?
When I was a kid, I used to do like painting like that, but in that area I had a lot of supplies, so I got very
Right.
into it.
So working in this supply store, fine-tune the reading, fine-tune or maybe more attracted to the art, but also spark the knowledge of the travel.
Yes.
Okay, here's a tough question. You're right, I'll be on this. If you don't remember, you don't have to remember. The first book, or the book, or a book that you look into that you go, wow, I connect with this, and the first place that you saw in the picture. Do you remember where it was?
Yeah, well, the book that sparkled my interest, I was like 7 years old, and my brother brought home a picture book about Australia, and it was about the outcast, and it was beautiful. The view, the canyons, the beaches. It was amazing, and I used to look at that book for hours and hours, and I would just go to the pages, and I would just imagine myself in there, and that was like, I need to go to that place. That was like that book, it was Australia. So how I go to
You
Australia.
see that thing in Australia, that's something to do with
It's
this. Wow.
so far.
Did anybody else in your family pick up on your attraction or passion for the books and the painting and the reading at that time or no?
Like, in my house, everybody was doing their own thing. So
That's a lot of people. No, I respect that.
No,
I respect that. So, the A student that's coming from middle school, did she transition into high school also?
Actually, in high school, that's when I tried. I was like, because my aunt was more strict. And like in middle school, I was a little more to
Relax.
myself, but my aunt was very strict. So I was like straight A student. Every month I was in the honor list, had medals. I was, yeah. I was a nerd.
Were you doing any physical activities like?
Yes, I also did like all sports. Like I was the only female in the volleyball team, the only female in the because I like also the sports and being active.
So true, and you were a tomboy from back then, so
Yeah,
that didn't
exactly.
fit right in. Oh wow! So you move with your aunt. You're now in high school. I know you're still striving academically.
Yeah.
did your classmates and the teachers pick up on?
Oh yeah, I was actually teased because my math professor, he was very enthusiastic in his praise for me. So he was like, "Why you guys are not like Veronica?"
Yo.
And that's the worst you can do to
I
a
know,
kid. Like,
I know.
no.
I've been that student, but like, yo, this fucking guy over here again.
I was bullied by my other students were like, Veronica, what's going on there with the math teacher? I'm like, guys, you need to stop. It's just a teacher. It's not my fault that I'm so smart. I'm not even trying.
Are you serious? You just no seriously.
Yeah, I don't because it's easy for studying is easy in books and stuff.
Oh wow.
I
I
don't want to break.
No. Listen. In our field here, like I have a certain time, and like manual is a certain time. I can do what manual do. You know what I mean? I don't think manual can do what I do. So that's it's not easy, but it's your talent.
Yeah.
So let's navigate this. So
And then actually my second business comes from my brain because in high school, I started tutoring, and I did two types of tutoring. I started tutoring kids that would have difficulty for studying, like they were like fourth grade and they were like struggling with school. So I was tutoring. There was this girl. She was almost failing. I remember she was very hard case, and by the end of the semester, she actually did great. She passed. I was surprised.
Wow.
She did so good, and I was that was actually very like good, heartwarming. And on the other side, I have my classmates. I used to charge them and do tutoring and sell them my
Your homework.
homeworks and my projects.
Why wouldn't you?
Yes.
Why wouldn't you? That's
Yes.
classic. Yo, thank you so much for sharing that. So as we navigate that, how did you deal with because you enter high school now, things are changing. How did you deal with the boys, the dynamic of, no, you don't look like a Tom, sure, you don't look the same anymore. How did that happen, or how did you handle that?
Oh, my aunt had me like, boys, don't go near you.
He said, I didn't handle that my whole
Yes, she did that.
Yeah,
Don't look at the street. Not allowed.
Keep the door closed, everything shut
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
That's big,
definitely.
that's big.
She took care of that.
Alright, so we finished up high school, and of course I'm pretty sure you graduated top of the class.
Yeah.
Valedictorian or no?
Well, in the art, with honors, we call it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. So you finished up that, and how about what's the transition from there?
Well, that's when it comes to the complicated part because I was born in America, so I didn't have Dominican. I couldn't stay there. So I had to.
You were born in America?
Yes.
How did we miss that?
I would say. Well, that was because my mom couldn't stay, so she took me with her. But then I was in Dominican Republic with no papers.
So you're a U.S. citizen living in the Dominican Republic?
Yeah, with no papers.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so they were like, you need to go.
They deported you.
So I came here to study college.
Oh, nice.
So like I came when I was 18. I was $60 for my pocket and a lot of dreams.
$18. No, you're 18 years old. $60 in your pocket, solo,
Yes.
like a jet fighter. Oh, so any other relatives here?
No, well, I met a cousin afterwards.
We literally came here,
Yeah.
deported from the Dominican Republic to the
Basically.
United States, solo,
Yeah.
be on your own.
We on my own to go to school. That was like, okay, go to school.
SQR podcast, School Rosenberg, Veronica Jorge, just sharing the journey that has taken her here. And I appreciate you for being so honest and so disciplined, because I'm now picking up on the trend or that common core. So we'll take a quick break, we'll come back. I want to pick up from the US. That journey here, navigating to where we are. SQR podcast, School Rosenberg, Veronica Jorge, back next. rocking back in with Veronica Jorge. And the story's fascinating, Veronica. First person to get deported from the Dominican Republic to the US. They were like, yo, you gotta get out of here. But before the break, you were saying that there were some technicalities and then you had to go. So, so you landed in the US and it's interesting. So $60 in your pocket. I'm gonna go granular up here, okay? Where were you gonna stay? Where were you staying with?
So I was saying friend of a friend of a friend's couch.
Oh, nice.
So I was supposed to help her take care of baby, and she would let me stay on her couch till I got my feet up.
Nice. Where was this?
In Queens.
Oh.
I lived everywhere. I lived in Rockaway. I live in Jamaica, Queens. I live in Manhattan. I live in the Bronx.
Yeah, you know what I call Queens? Hit 'em on Queens. You gotta watch them crossing the street, boy. They keep it moving.
Yeah.
So you land, and I'm pretty sure. So, how was your English back then?
Oh, well, I studied English, so I knew how to read it. I understand it, but I couldn't speak it.
Okay.
I learned it the hard way. The people I was saying, they were Hispanic and they did not speak English. So I was like, yeah, I speak English, thinking I knew English. So we went to Home Depot and they needed a faucet for the toilet. So I got there and I'm like, I need the thingy and the thingy and the thingy. And I goes in the thingy. I'm like, I don't know English. And the guy was like, hablo español. Okay. Like he's like, I speak Spanish. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, the thingy for the thingy. For the
Thingy for the thingy.
Yeah, makes a thingy for the thingy.
Exactly.
I wonder what your people you were staying with, all what they were thinking when they were with you at Home Depot, like, yo, this shit don't know jack about it.
They thought that I knew what I was doing because they knew less English. And I'm very confident.
Toast to that. Yeah, so when you drop a jewel on the show, we call it, when you drop something profound, we call it dropping a jewel. You just drop a jewel right now. So if you're confident, you can sell anything.
Yes,
all right?
definitely.
So you're in Queens, getting your feet wet. Still have this passion for traveling back then, or you were just focused on grinding?
Oh no, definitely thinking of traveling. I was thinking how I'm going to make the money to travel in that time. But I was thinking about school. Like I need to get to school when I first come here. So I was like, how I'm going to do that. So I was doing babysitting, and that's through there I got into, I met a college recruiter. He was like, what was your GPA in school? I was like, 99? He was like, okay. And even though I didn't know English, and they do this ESL class.
Yes.
And they usually takes a year. I finished in 3 months, the whole thing. I didn't have to do that anymore. So I took it very, because I said, school is easy.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna stick a pin. In Jamaica, we'll say stick a pin. I'm gonna come back to that point. I'm gonna stick a pin there. If you could break down or explain what were your study habits, or what would you say to somebody else that's struggling right now with those? What was it? Or what would you say to that person?
Learn how to teach it to someone else. So try to learn how to explain it to someone else, and that way you will learn it how to yourself.
Got it. Because become the teacher and then you learn.
Exactly.
So as you were learning, you were like, let me see how I explain to this person, and then you learn.
So I was explaining it aloud, like move the words around in a way that is understandable to me, and that I will be understandable to someone else. And once you understand how it works, you always go know.
SQR podcast, Score Rosenberg, guys. Those little tidbits right there is the 2-degree shift you need in your life to make it work. Thank you for sharing that. Because as you were talking, I'm like, all right, you said it became easy to her. And if you did, I want her to break down exactly what she did.
Because I always been teaching, so I was in school and I was teaching I was tutoring my classmates. I was at home, I was tutoring my sister. I was always teaching. I will the way I would, the way my classmate would stall, like they didn't want to explain. That's how you call it. Like, so you would start up in front of the class and talk to everybody. Then we'd be like, Veronica, can you please take it over? And I will spend 1 hour explaining one topic. Because I would learn it how so in depth.
Yeah.
Exactly. So once I learn it, I always know it. So
That's great. That's great. And of course, getting that reward and that passion, and you keep going forward, you're applying that. And thank you for sharing that. I'm going to apply that actually.
yeah.
I'm going to definitely do that. I'm going to be talking to myself tomorrow in Europe. Watch this. So, college. Your recruiter guided you. Now we're sharp, now we're paying. Which college did you go?
So as I say, I was, I just came here, didn't know anyone, so I feel for it's called Monroe College. It's a little
In
private
Monroe
school in New Rochelle.
Yeah, I've heard of Monroe College. What was your major?
I did for my associate in business administration, and for my bachelor's I did hospitality with a minor in marketing and accounting and culinary.
Culinary.
Culinary
That's all cooking and the whole presentation.
and accounting and marketing is everywhere.
You're all over the place.
Yes.
So, okay, we want to go on. I want to dab a little
But I
bit.
wanted to see where I could work in the hotel industry.
And why go to all the traveling?
Yes. Yeah.
Bomb. So,
Yeah.
wow. Wow,
That would be
wow.
something I could do anywhere.
Yeah. Got you. Okay. All right, let me see how I navigate this. So, let's go back to Monroe College. So you're in Monroe College, you're doing your associates. Have you mastered speaking English yet, or?
Yes, like 3 months.
Bon, got that down your head. How's your assimilation with the American, the real? What happened?
Well, because the culture is very different. Dominicans are very welcoming people, and like if you're lost, bring you in. And Americans are not as much as that.
Especially in the Queens, that's not gonna happen.
Yes. So it was very tough at the end.
Okay. You got your feet wet, you're in. How's the schoolwork? Did you adjust quickly to that, or was there some?
No, actually it was easy. I found it very thrilling. I like the discussion.
And you were still shining like a A student?
Sorry.
No, sell it. Because if you were, that's big.
I graduated with a 4.0 for my associates, and in my bachelor's it was a 3.88 because something stupid. It was I took this online class. It's called business writing. So I took this class for me, and at the same time I took it for another student.
Oh wow, one of those business. Yeah, those.
I mean, like, you cannot take my college degree away. I'm sorry. So, the same class at the same time. He got an A plus, and I got a B plus. But it's not fair because it was me.
Doing both.
Exactly.
Yo.
I feel like I was misogyny there.
It's like,
Yeah, it's like because he was a guy, so he must work nicer. I don't know.
that is nuts. Which is so true actually if you were to dig into that, the whole thing, because if you're the person doing the same work, just wow. Can I ask you to be paid for that service?
I was.
Were you paid handsomely? Let's not put numbers on it.
I think it was okay.
Okay.
It wasn't as handsome enough thinking retroactively I could have charged more because I got an A
Yeah,
and
come
I got
on.
a B.
Yo, that is nuts. So, before we move on with college, were you doing more of those similar bit with homework?
I was doing classes. I was doing exams online. That's when online classes first started back in like 2009. And I was doing also projects.
So, here's what's interesting. Now that I know how you've learned, people think they're getting over, but you're even learning more.
Yes.
Yo, that's dope. That's dope.
It's actually funny story. there's this teacher, professor. She was known for being like super hard. She was like the hardest, and nobody ever passed her class with like nothing but a C. And I took them. It's an online class on purchasing, and I did the class for her. Back then it was my boyfriend, so I did it for him online, and I got him an A. And that woman praised that guy, like she loved him. She was like stupid, like we did that, like they do like a gala, and she met him, and she was like, "I love you. You're so amazing. Your essays were amazing." And I was just standing there like, he doesn't even know what it was in the essay. It was me who wrote the professor.
Yeah, that is nuts.
Yes.
What a story. Because I was just wanted to ask you that.
I had to survive, but you know, I was on my own.
No, that was big because I just wanted to ask you, was there a time where, that stood out during that whole college experience? Holy smokes. So that's very fascinating. So now you finish up college, you're great grades. How did you end up in?
There I started traveling. That was on my first trip.
First trip.
I went to Bermudas. It was a cruise. It was
Did you go with your boyfriend or solo?
No, I went for a group of friends. We finished college. It was like a girl, and her cousin was going in a college trip. So we tagged along, and it was amazing. It was like it was an amazing experience, and that was like I'm hooked. Traveling. That's where my money is going.
Bahamas was the first one.
Bermuda.
Sorry, Bermuda first trip. All right. You mentioned a boyfriend in college.
Yes.
Was he another boyfriend after college?
Ended up when college ended with ended at the same time.
Okay, cool. Why? Who ended it?
He
What happened?
left me for someone younger. I was 21, she was 19.
Are you serious?
I am serious, sadly.
Wow.
But it's okay. We became friends afterwards.
And was it an age thing? That's why.
No, they had history.
Oh, okay, cool.
But it's fine. They didn't end up together either.
Well, you know.
But it was he helped me out to college. He was assimilate to the American culture. He was like the person who helped me out through that. So it was good. It was good experience, and he knew that I like traveling, so he also helped me develop that, encouraged me like yes, go do that.
Nice. Which is very interesting because back then even now a lot of men aren't supportive and they're not supportive. So I salute him for doing that. That's big. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break, and I'm glad you shared it because before I take this break, I noticed that a lot of your posts and a lot of your trips are colored with profound quotes. And now that I've gotten a little bit of your story, I realize that that's coming from the stuff you've read, your passion for learning, intermingled with your passion for traveling. So we want to dig into that as we hear it on this last segment with Veronica Jorge. It's been a fascinating, thank you so much for being vulnerable. We'll take a quick break, come back, chop into the last half. Stay tuned. One. SQR podcast, Will Rosenberg, rocking in with Veronica Jorge. And Veronica, behind the scenes, my senior audio editor, and my counselor mentioned that all the stories we've been talking about were allegedly. Allegedly. So we want to tag that and throw that in there right away. So, but thank you so much for being vulnerable with all those alleged stories. So now we're navigating. You know what? And before I move on, I realize. And I'm poking the elephant here. You're an attractive woman. I'm pretty sure you were attractive back in the whole high school, college days. How did you navigate the boyfriend? How did you navigate that? I know they all
with a sword and a shield. And like, no, no. Well, yeah.
No, that's big.
Similarly like that.
Well, because you can't focus on your academics.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. I have my flings, but nothing that takes me out of the track of what I want. I am very focused, and I am a lot about my peace of mind. I had a couple of serious relationships, but they haven't been the most healthy ones. They're a little bit toxic. Like, as you say, I'm very attractive. I'm joking. But my ex-boyfriend thought so he was very jealous. And I couldn't stand that because I feel like.
Yeah, but you being attractive, be jealous, it should be your, I mean, that's not.
Exactly. I feel like it has to be trust in a relationship, you know?
Yeah.
And the other one was not just healthy mentally for me. So I let it go. And things that I feel don't make me happy, don't bring me peace, I very easily let them go.
SQR podcast for Rosenberg. She just not dropping out the jewels. Say that again, Mama.
Anything that doesn't bring you peace, just let it go.
Quickly. Don't consider, let that shit
Just
go
let it go.
ASAP. So we want to come to how profound you are right now. So those are really, and when you look at your posts, as I said before, you're traveling, you're going to some of these exotic places, and the words and the way you stitch them together are amazing. Because I'm just really not only there by what I see visually, but I'm also there mentally. So let's go back to that. So I realized that your love for the academics and reading kind of curved you to be so eloquent with the quotes you use. The place that you've been, let's go to some of those places. You've been to Bermuda was your first stop.
Yes.
And then you started traveling on the European side of things.
Yes.
But before you do that, how do you fund that experience?
Fun?
Yeah, how do you pay? How do you move around? How do you?
Well, I am an extremely good budgeter. Like, I am very good at managing my money. So it's basically the hard-earned money of all my hustlings. So yeah, just working basically. I used to, because I've been working since I'm 15, and it's not just working for fun, I've been working to pay bills.
Yeah.
So I learned how to do budgets and math, and if you see me have a free moment, you will see me doing counts and numbers, because I'm always trying to plan my next adventure and you need to fund it.
You need to fund that adventure, okay. So your profession right now, so you majored in
Hospitality.
hospitality
Yeah.
was your major. What was your transition from college into your first work position?
I started working as a housekeeping supervisor in a hotel in Times Square in New York, and it's very hard. I have PTSD from that job.
PTSD from a housekeeping supervisor.
Yes, it is extremely taxing. You have to go on the floor and look for hair and look for dust, and you have to move sheets and send people back. It's just the worst, because someone cleans a room and you have to go, but you tell them you have to go back. It's the worst.
Wow.
And I was like, so yeah, it was extremely taxing, and especially because hospitality is a very, it sells a lot of emotions, whereas back the house is very hard. So
I know that. Yeah, the front looks so smooth, but
yeah,
the back is nuts.
at the end it's like you know the Community episode where he goes outside and he comes back with the pizza and everything is on fire and he's just standing there with the pizza. That's how hospitality is. It's like everything in the house is burning. You're like, I need a pillow, and you have to run from one room to the other. We used to like run with cars to wash sheets in a laundromat and then come back because we didn't get enough. And it was a disaster, but it gave me a lot of experience. I work under pressure, super efficient. I think on my feet in any situation. I know how to handle people, which helps you when you're in another country on your own. You know?
So, in hospitality, handling that job, learning everything you're learning, you now navigate through hospitality. What position are you holding now?
Now I work in front of the house. I work as a guest service agent in another hotel in the city in Times Square. Different one though. Yeah, it's crazy. Different type of crazy. Now you're the person holding the pizza before you're the person running around.
So you're the front holding the pizza.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
All right, so share with me how you're able to stitch the hospitality and the traveling together, because I'm thinking you're working in a hotel. Does that fringe benefit helps you offset some of the cost, or?
Yes. So I get the discounts for working like in hospitality. Get some like employee discounts or rooms. I also get like some discounts on activities and
Okay.
tickets, so that helps. Also, talking to people, you get idea, like 'cause you talk to so many travelers. I speak with hundreds of people a day from everywhere in the world. So they tell me like, if you go into my country, you definitely need to do this. If you go into this place, definitely have to visit. And I just like talk to them. I'm like, oh, I never been to this place, how it is, and they talk to me about their country, and that inspires me.
Well, all right, so I've got all that out of the way because this is where I'm going to right now. Right now, your traveling experiences. You seem to have been to some of the most historic places. So let's go. How many countries have you visited?
I've
As of
been
today's
to
date.
over 27 countries and over 70 cities, different cities.
27 countries, 70 different cities,
Over 70 cities.
all by yourself.
90% by myself.
90. So let's navigate this. You're traveling to, I think the last place you went to,
I went to Albania.
Albania.
It's a beautiful country, I think to go.
Why Albania? Why did you pick Albania in the first place?
Well, I work with Albanian people and they go there all the time because that's their country. Nobody else goes there.
Yeah. Albania is not even on my list of top 20 countries to visit.
Well, you should go because it's super cheap. Is people speak English and it is beautiful. You have beautiful beaches, rivers, mountains. It's history. You have over 5 different civilizations that lived there: the Byzantines, the Romans, the Greeks. It's an amazing country, like full of history. It's beautiful. So I just went there and just did things. My friends were like, "You've been to more places in my country than me," and I'm like, "Yes."
So yes, that's true, right? Because I was able to bring that up as you listed, the culture and the taste and the flavor of that country. One of the things I noticed with you is, number one, you're always out.
Yes.
Excursions, and more excursions.
I don't be in my hotel. That's why I can stay in a hostel. I can stay in a 5-star hotel with my employee discount.
Because you're out.
Yes, because I'm never in my room. I'm always outside. I wanna, how you say, soak in the
Everyday
culture. Yes.
Wow. So you're navigating. Could you share with me? I want to just because I know it's not all bed and roses. Could you share with me one of your most scariest moments traveling solo, and which country did that happen? And I'm not knocking the country because I realize there's bad people in every country. I just want to get a taste of.
Well, the thing is, I am very, how do you say,
Say it in Spanish.
arriesgada. I take a lot of risk. So I'm a person that I always out there doing stuff that other people find risky if they do. So in situations that if I think myself bad, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Could you give me one of those incidents?
So I was in Egypt one time, and I posted a picture that I was in Egypt, and someone hit me up, and they were like, "Oh, do you want me to show you around?" It's total stranger. I don't know who it is, and I'm like, "Okay." Why not? I'm never gonna be in Egypt again. I'm like, I have a motorcycle, and this person took me around Egypt in his motorcycle. We went to this nice tea house, and I played with this nice cat. And then he took me to his apartment. And you understand, and you hear how dangerous this sounds, right?
Keep going, keep going.
But it was basically he worked for an international student, so he was the guide for international students. So he lived in this house where a lot of students live. There was like 8 people from Brazil, from Mexico, from the UK, from the US, everybody living in the house, and he introduced me to them. We bought alcohol, we were drinking the whole night. I taught them how to dance. I was teaching them bachata, I was teaching them salsa. We were having fun till like 6 in the morning, and they took me home and nothing happened. It was super risky. I took a risk, but I had so much fun.
Wow, that is dope.
Yes.
Great story. No, thank you for sharing that, because I'm over here on the cliffhanger like, yo, this is going to turn left.
It's like this building, the elevator has no door. It's just 2 people at the time, but we were 3, so we had to squeeze in like this.
No, but you're also funny. I heard somebody said there are more good people in the world than bad people.
Exactly, definitely.
And what's the Spanish term for thinking this?
Riesgos, tomar riesgos. Arriesgarse.
Arriesgarse. Say it again?
Arriesgarse.
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 Okay, taking a risk. That is big, because you trusted that one kind of fascinating. Okay, great. Is there any time when the ship went left?
No.
No, I appreciate that. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
The only time that it has been weird, it was in Morocco. I went on my own, and I got a message of someone that saw me on the street, but it was to my WhatsApp, meaning that the person got my phone number somehow. I don't know how to. I'm like, technology is too advanced in that country for them to get my number. They were like, "You are so beautiful. I saw you walking in the street," and I'm like, no, it's no how I guess. But it was scary. That was like the only scary of someone that actually can get your information like that.
Oh, well, you didn't interact with them at all. So
I don't know who the person is. I blocked them right away, but they have my number.
Okay.
That was like, and when you go into like those countries, you get a lot of looks, people who like try to act. That's why I said that for me, I find it normal. I grew up with people, men looking at me, hollering at me. So for me, I already muted.
Yeah.
But if you're not used to that type of behavior, you can find, as a woman, you can find it shocking, because they will look at you like they never seen a woman of color, or they never seen someone that like look like you. They'll be like,
You literally stop and stare.
yeah, they stop and stare, and they will just walk behind me and stuff. It's that, but I muted. I don't think about it, and I forget about it.
Wow. That's an interesting ability, but it seems so unfair for you to have to do that,
Yeah.
you know. So that's the next question I was going to ask you. In some of these countries that you're visiting, you are the standout person. You know, so you're rare, and you walk into these uncomfortable. I'm not saying uncomfortable, but you walk into these scenarios, both geographically and physically. And how do you handle that? I mean,
You have to be prepared. So you have to study where you're going. Honestly, if you went to a place, you need to know where you go. So if, for instance, Albania, they were close to the world for 27 years. They just opened back in '94. So they never had tourists. They were like South Korea. They have no contact. So you have to understand that it's a country that just opened up to the world. So they're gonna be behind on how to treat people of color, people that are different, that they're gonna stare. So you have to go prepare mentally for that and not to get offended. Try to, because some of them don't know, you have to, you can just dismiss them, like normally laugh and dismiss them, you can just try to educate them, but you know, learn for where you're going and try to understand the things that you're going to do, the problems that you might have. And you go prepare. you're not gonna be surprised. You're not gonna have a bad experience because you're already expecting it. Like it might happen.
No, that is dope. Let me ask you this. Their curiosity.
I felt like Beyonce.
You feel like Beyonce?
They were stopping me. They were like, "Can I please take a picture?" And I was just like, "You want me to take a picture of you?" She's like, "No, a picture with you." And I'm like, "Okay." And it has happened. It happened in Croatia too. Yeah.
No, that's big. So I want to thank you for the tidbits you share. And I gotta throw another segment in there. I gotta take a quick break. We're gonna come back and we're gonna wrap. We gotta wrap because as we spoke on this last segment, you really shared what it takes to navigate that world and being in that environment of a new place geographically, new place mentally, physically, and dealing with the eyes and the energy.
Yes, definitely. Especially if you're a woman traveling on your own, you're gonna get the stares, you're gonna have people asking you why you're on your own. So you have to, like, it's an opportunity to make friends, some way. But also you have to be, firm and strong, and you don't need to be watchful of everything. So you're gonna just go with like, oh, I'm going to this country, let me think it's like an American. No, it's gonna be different. So you have to go prepared for it.
SQR podcast for Rosenberg, Veronica Jorge, giving you the tidbits and details. And I know we took a scenic route through her life to get to right now, which is really what you guys really want to know. How does she survive traveling to all these places on her own, meeting people and really shining and bringing the energy she does? We're gonna take a last break and come back and wrap and find out what's her 2 best wishes when I close. SQR podcast for Rosenberg, Veronica Jorge. Check out her Instagram. SQR podcast for Rosenberg. All the other podcasts I've ever done had 4 segments. This one is so nice, I have to throw in something extra bonus on there. Because here we are, we're ready to wrap with Veronica Jorge, the world traveler. And as we're wrapping up, you're dropping all these tidbits about traveling alone, what it takes to be a woman, a confident woman traveling alone, dealing with all the nuances. And at the end of the day, what I got away from it was, do your research, be confident,
Definitely.
be aware of your surroundings, and go have fun.
Definitely. Have fun. Very important.
Go have fun.
Yes.
So we were getting ready to wrap, and we touched on, what I love my team, and Dan so eloquently threw this in. He's like, what's the agenda for the world traveler looking like in 2022, 2023, 2024? Because I know you have something projected. So what's the next couple of trips coming up?
So I'm going in September. I'm going to Dublin and surfing. I'm still traveling in San Sebastian.
So, Saint Sebastian.
San Sebastian.
Surfing.
Surfing.
Are you a surfer?
Well, I am not, but I'm gonna be for the 7 days.
Yo, that's what I'm talking about. You're gonna go learn to surf. And
Yeah, I did surfing before in Morocco, and it was so fun. I just been in the water. It's so funny.
Wow. So Dublin, Saint Sebastian.
In September and in December, I'm thinking about going to Australia finally. But if that doesn't pan out, I might do Thailand.
I noticed that you haven't done a lot of the Caribbean islands. Why? Are you just because you're Dominican, you're like, screw the Caribbean, I don't want to.
No, I did the Caribbean when I was struggling economically, so it's cheaper. So I did that first. I did that when I was like the first years. I did a lot of cruises in that area.
What's so funny is, and listen, I gotta lie, I gotta add this in. You know, when we connected on the tour, I gave you this our new studio here at our factory in Patterson. We were talking, and when I asked you about that, you said there's such a vast culture difference between the Caribbean and the European
In the
countries.
European country, yes.
What is that?
It's just the Caribbean, even though we have the spiciness and us, we're still a little close-minded in certain stuff, like females, how to treat females on their own, how to more open-minded to be. Like when you're in Europe, it's more comfortable. It's also about how Europeans ravage the islands and destroy everything. So there's not much culture there. And it's that unless the people is the culture,
Sure.
while in Europe the culture is in the buildings.
Okay.
So you go in Europe, you go to see the buildings. While like you in the Caribbean, you go to experience the people,
Yeah,
the
that's where the
beaches
culture
and
is,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I did a lot of the Caribbean while I was in early 20s. I went to Puerto Rico. I did the art properly. I did.
Hold up. Manny, are you good?
I think the thing is about
Okay. Excellent. I'll pick up from. So can you just keep
Yeah.
going?
islands in the Caribbean.
Okay, so out of the Caribbean, go.
Yeah, I went to the Bahamas, the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Cozumel. I went to all those areas, and everything is beautiful. Beaches are wonderful, but there are a lot of similar stuff. So I wanted to see more of the history when you go there, more in depth.
Yes.
It's more depth. The only thing
No,
that's
we do know that, you know, the European continent is a much older continent, so there's so much stuff there to dive into. And because now it's so more accessible, I understand why you probably, it will take a couple of years to really go through that.
Exactly, but the Caribbean is the best beaches.
forget
Compared
about
to
it.
everywhere I go, I'll be like, please, this is not a beach. I'm like, please, no. Like, have you ever been in Bahamas?
I'm from Jamaica. When you go to the grill and you see that blue, yes, and nothing compares to that. So I completely understand that. As we get ready to close, Veronica, I wanted to, number one, have you mentioned, because I know that we touched on your painting and
Yes.
your passion behind your painting. So could you share where people could find your painting and if they wanted to purchase some of that stuff?
So it's gonna be on my Instagram. It will on Artsy Aria. So it will be with a Y, Artsy Aria, and you can go on the link on my Instagram to Aria VJ25.
Well, and that's always going to be in the lower third, so everybody can follow that.
You can see my paintings there. I do a lot of acrylics and oils also, and acrylics recently.
No, nice. I want to thank you for not only sharing and coming, but for consistently moving the way you're moving. As one of your biggest fans, I'm privileged to be across from you, but there's a little girl out there who's going to hear this podcast, and forget a little girl, but there's going to be a woman out there who's like, hey, I want to step out of my comfort zone and experience life. That's what you have done. Could you do me a favor? Don't stop.
I promise.
Thank you. As I get ready to close on this, there's two questions I ask my guests. The first is, I have the magic wand, and I give you the ability to have two wishes. Only two. What would be your first wish?
It would be being able to live everywhere, go anywhere that I want in the world, like teleportation, anywhere. Once.
To telepathically go anywhere in the world.
Teleport to anywhere in the world in 1 second, and then having money to just spend it wherever. So I'd be like, I'm in Albania, I'm in Thailand, I'm in Cambodia. Like that.
Okay.
Or being able to, if you want to make it more realistic, being able to travel anywhere in the world that I want to.
Which is
Anytime.
really-
And 1,500 a week.
But what's so funny is you're doing that right now.
Yeah, that's what I say. I be like, when I always, if I have that question, when people ask me, I be like, but I'm already doing that.
Yeah, we're literally doing that right now.
I just don't want to do the work in between, guys.
Just try, forget the.
That's it, just the
So
work.
your first wish is to telepathically be able to go anywhere in the world.
Yes,
And
I
your
hate
second
going
wish
to-
is?
Having the money to be able to like. So I don't want no much. It's 1,500 a week.
That's all you want.
That's it.
So-
I can survive with that.
I'm gonna drop a jewel as we close on SQR podcast. So Weissman once said to me, and I think Ryan lives by this philosophy: you live simply, so others will simply live.
Exactly.
Because you could ask for millions of dollars, but you only want the minimum so you can continue to travel.
Definitely. Yeah, don't-
SQR podcast, Cole Rosenberg. It's an honor and privilege to have dissected and found out all the ingredients that goes in the pot that make up Veronica Jorge. The way you travel, the way you move, the way you've learned and continue to learn. I'm gonna adopt that in my lifestyle because what I realize is the more you teach and the more you serve, the more proficient you become.
Definitely.
Well, SQR podcast, Cole Rosenberg. Veronica Jorge, I promise you guys, when you check out her Instagram and listen to this entire podcast, you're gonna understand why this energy force in front of me is so powerful. Stay tuned. One, Mazel Tov.